the jazz club light. Smoke and mirrors every Saturday night. Everything appearing more than what it is. Smoke and mirrors, that's the jazz club's fizz. Muted trumpets speaking through the haze. Smoke and mirrors, the most beautiful maze you ever walked into without a map. Smoke and mirrors putting you on the lap of something you weren't quite expecting. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of directing of the evening toward its best self. Smoke and mirrors isn't deception. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of reception for the night that needed atmosphere. Smoke and mirrors, that's the vibe. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of tribe is the one that gathers under colored light. Smoke and mirrors, every Friday night. Trumpet hidden in the haze somewhere. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of way to lose yourself and find yourself again. Smoke and mirrors, that's the finest when piano playing through the smoke like water. Smoke and mirrors, the evening getting hotter in the way that only jazz clubs understand. Smoke and mirrors, the most beautiful and grand illusion is the realest thing in here. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of clear is the clarity that comes from the obscure. Smoke and mirrors, the finest thing I've heard. Smoke and mirrors isn't deception. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of reception for the night that needed atmosphere. Smoke and mirrors, that's the vibe. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of tribe is the one that gathers under colored light. Smoke and mirrors, every Friday night. Trumpet hidden in the haze somewhere. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of way to lose yourself and find yourself again. Smoke and mirrors, that's the finest when the smoke is not obscuring, it's revealing. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of ceiling is the one you can't quite see through. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of view is the one that has a mystery remaining. Smoke and mirrors, never once complaining about the need for some imagination. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of station. Hours in and still the smoke is doing. Smoke and mirrors, still the trumpets wooing everyone who stopped to listen properly. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of property of jazz is that it lives better in the haze. Smoke and mirrors, the most beautiful of days are the nights that hide some things from view. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of true. Smoke and mirrors, that's the vibe. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of tribe is the one that gathers under colored light. Smoke and mirrors, every Friday night. Trumpet hidden in the haze somewhere. Smoke and mirrors, the finest kind of way to lose yourself and find yourself again. Smoke and mirrors, that's the finest when smoke and mirrors, still in it, never clearer, yeah. Drove to the lake before sunrise specifically for this. The way it happened so quickly, between the dark and the first impossible gray, the water disappearing into the day before the day has quite arrived. The hour when the lake and the air share the same color, and the trees on the far side are a suggestion rather than a fact. The kind of question the light asks before it commits to answering. Everything's still soft, still hovering in the space between one thing and another. The finding this becoming its brother. Sat on the hood of the car with the recording playing, something about the cold and the music staying inside the same frequency as the water. An hour from now it will be burned away, the warmth arriving, the ordinary day asserting itself over the transient. The in-between is always the most lenient, with itself the most willing to be both things at once, the night and the light, the growth and the end of growth, the almost and the clear. Everything the morning holds before we're here. Enough to notice it, enough to call it gone. The flute knew this was its natural habitat, the frequency of the not yet, the thermostat set between states, the music and the mist operating in the same way. The insist of neither on being only what they are, the music also both near and far from its resolution, finding its way forward through the key, the mist also forward into either lifting or the day arriving through it, the lake eventually reviving into its reflect clarity, the trees returning from the suggestion to the freeze of fact, which is beautiful but different. The recording ended before the mist did, something about the silence that was valid, as the music had been both appropriate. An hour from now it will be burned away, the warmth arriving, the ordinary day asserting itself over the transient. The in-between is always the most lenient, with itself the most willing to be both things at once, the night and the light, the growth and the end of growth, the almost and the clear. Everything the morning holds before we're here. Enough to notice it, enough to call it gone. Stayed until the trees came back completely, the lake returning to its familiar, neatly reflected world, the mist finally choosing the side of gone, overstaying, losing the particular quality it had held for an hour over the water, the spell broken by the ordinary warmth of the day, and yet the hour still something, still the way the morning sometimes shows what it can do before anyone's watching, just the view from the hood of a cold car, the flute, the gray trees visible again, lake clear, same water as before, different hour.
After the rain, the city smells like something new. Pavement catching every reflection of the blue. Sky deciding it was done with all that gray. After the rain, the finest kind of day. Walked outside without an umbrella for once. Let the leftover drops do whatever they want. On my jacket, on my face, on everything. After the rain, hear the city sing. Something always shifts when the rain decides to stop, like the world exhaled and couldn't hold the drop of everything it carried through the storm. After the rain, a different kind of warm. After the rain, everything looks possible again. After the rain, the world decided to begin. Something new, something clean. After the rain, finest thing I've seen. After the rain is not just meteorology, it's the reset button on my personal apology to myself for all the ways I held the weight. After the rain, everything can wait. Trumpet saying what I couldn't articulate, a Rhodes piano helping me recalibrate. After the rain, the finest frequency. After the rain, the best of me. After the rain, right here, starting again. Puddles on the street reflecting all the lights, everything intensified on rainy nights. Colors looking richer than they did before. After the rain, what the city's for. Coffee shop on the corner still has seats. After the rain, the best time for retreats into something warm and unhurried and real. After the rain, that's how the city feeling always shifts when the rain decides to stop. Like the world exhaled and couldn't hold a drop of everything it carried through the storm. A different kind of warm. After the rain, everything looks possible again. After the rain, the world decided to begin. Something new, something clean. After the rain, finest thing I've seen. All the gray worth going through. After the rain, everything is new. Jazz knows this feeling intimately. Every storm resolves eventually into something the trumpet always knew. After the rain, the sky's a different blue. Rhodes piano playing the resolution. After the rain, the finest kind of solution to whatever the storm was trying to say. After the rain, the most beautiful day. After the rain, just breathe right here. After the rain, city breathing. Everything new, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Velvet underground, the finest kind of place, where the music finds its most authentic face. Nobody performing for the audience above. Velvet underground, the finest kind of love. Between the musician and the honest note, velvet underground, everything of note happens in the basement of the feeling. Velvet underground, the finest kind of ceiling is the one you never notice while you're under. Velvet underground, and all its thunder running at a frequency below the street. Velvet underground, the most complete. Underground isn't hidden, it's selective. Velvet underground, the most effective filter for whatever's truly real. Velvet underground, that's where truth lives. Velvet underground, that's where music gives everything it has without the performance. Velvet underground, the finest kind of dormant energy that wakes when you descend. Velvet underground, where real things blend into something that the surface never shows. Velvet underground, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Saxophone down here sounds completely different. Velvet underground, the finest kind of different from the version that the daylight gets to hear. Velvet underground, the finest kind of clear is the dark that knows exactly what it is. Velvet underground, that's where the jazz has always lived, below the respectable. Velvet underground, the most correctable version of the music that pretends above. Velvet underground, the finest kind of love is the kind that happens when nobody watches. Velvet underground, the finest kind of catches. Underground isn't hidden, it's selective. Velvet underground, the most effective filter for whatever's truly real. Velvet underground, that's where truth lives. Velvet underground, that's where music gives everything it has without the performance. Velvet underground, the finest kind of dormant energy that wakes when you descend. Velvet underground, where real things blend into something that the surface never shows. Velvet underground, that's how it goes. The velvet part is how it feels on entry. Velvet underground, the finest kind of gentry is the one who knows to go below. Velvet underground, the finest kind of show is the one nobody posted about. Velvet underground, the finest kind of route to something true is always underground. Velvet underground, the finest kind of sound. Organ humming what the basement always knew. Velvet underground, the finest shade of blue is the one that only basements understand. Velvet underground, the most beautiful and grand thing about the music is the room it's in. Velvet underground, where truth begins without the lights, without the expectation. Velvet underground, the finest kind of station. Finest kind of station. Velvet underground, that's where truth lives. Velvet underground, that's where music gives everything it has without the performance. Velvet underground, the finest kind of dormant energy that wakes when you descend. Velvet underground, where real things blend into something that the surface never shows. Velvet underground, that's how it goes. Velvet underground, down here, real things, yeah.
Coffee at noon is the second act. Everything the morning did is now a fact. Filed away, accounted for, addressed. Coffee at noon, deserving of the best cup the day can offer at this hour. Coffee at noon, the midday superpower. Not the urgent first cup of the day. Coffee at noon, the one you chose to stay. For the one that didn't have a deadline. Coffee at noon, crossing the fine line between the rush and something more considered. Coffee at noon, perfectly delivered. Noon has its own quality of light. Coffee at noon feels almost right, in a way the morning never gets to be. Coffee at noon, take your time. Everything is running right on time. No alarm, no meeting in 5 minutes. Coffee at noon, fully in it. Piano saying what the afternoon means. Coffee at noon, finest in between. Morning's done and evening's not yet here. Coffee at noon, everything is clear. Somebody across the room is reading something. Coffee at noon, and neither of us rushing into the next thing, the next obligation. Coffee at noon, the finest kind of station to be standing in this particular moment. Coffee at noon, the day's most honest component, showing what it's like when you remove the pressure. Coffee at noon, the afternoon's best treasure. Noon has its own quality of light. Coffee at noon feels almost right, in a way the morning never gets to be. Coffee at noon, take your time. Everything is running right on time. No alarm, no meeting in 5 minutes. Coffee at noon, fully in it. Piano saying what the afternoon means. Coffee at noon, finest in between. Morning's done and evening's not yet here. Coffee at noon, everything is clear. The jazz knows about the midday pause. Coffee at noon, operating outside the laws of productivity and optimization. Coffee at noon, the finest kind of station. Piano, bass, and drums at half the urgency. Coffee at noon, the midday frequency that only comes when you allow it to arrive. Coffee at noon, the reason we survive. The morning into something worth the afternoon. Coffee at noon, arriving right on tune. Last sip warmer than the first somehow. Coffee at noon, teaching me somehow that the middle of the day deserves attention. Coffee at noon, the finest kind of mention. In the ledger of the things worth doing slowly. Coffee at noon, the most unhurried holy pause the working day could ever offer. Coffee at noon, the finest kind of buffer. Coffee at noon, take your time. Everything is running right on time. No alarm, no meeting in 5 minutes. Coffee at noon, fully in it. Saying what the afternoon means. Coffee at noon, finest in between. Morning's done and evening's not yet here. Coffee at noon, everything is clear. Coffee at noon, no rush, right here. Yeah. To the faithful, the ones who came for this, specifically grateful for whatever it was the night had offered. The casual crowd long gone, the room that softened into something more honest at this hour. Just the music and the people with the power of the real attention, the ones who leaned forward slightly, the ones who've always seemed to know that the last set is different. Something about the exhaustion making it more efficient at getting to the thing, the performance, finally burning away the pure performance of the honesty underneath arriving. When the energy for the mass stops surviving into the small hours, just the actual music. The saxophonist played something he hadn't planned, something in the late hour, the expanded permission of the thin room, something true. The standard they played 100 times found a different melody inside the rhymes of the familiar structure went somewhere. Nobody expected, the room barely there, but completely there. The faithful few leaning in together as the music grew into something that the earlier sets couldn't have produced. The late night bets on honesty paying exactly what they owe. Piano responding to what the saxophone began, something building in the way that it only can. When the musicians stop thinking about the audience and start talking to each other, the obedience to the music rather than the expectation. The room becoming the finest kind of station for this particular transmission. The late night communication that the early sets can't replicate. 3 a.m. p.m. and nobody has left. Something in the room that would feel bereft of something important if anyone moved. The music and the room and the hour groove into a particular moment. The collective understanding that this was the corrective for whatever the week had asked of everyone. Final number and the saxophonist nodded. Something between the musicians, something coded in the look that preceded the last bar. The standard they played 100 times, found a different melody inside the rhymes of the familiar structure went somewhere. Nobody expected, the room barely there, but completely there. The faithful few leaning in together as the music grew into something that the earliest sets couldn't have produced. The late night bets on honesty paying exactly what they owe. The last note held until it was gone, and the room held it a moment longer. On the edge of the applause, the particular beat of silence before the hands, the complete expression of the thing that only music gets to do. The room itself, the music for one more bar. The silence full of everything the night had managed to pull out of the hour. The people, the particular air of a Tuesday at 3 a.m. And there, applause arriving finally. The musicians already packing, the last set already becoming memory. The room still holding it briefly.
Midnight Jasmine coming through the window screen. Everything about this hour soft and in between. Day and what comes after this particular blue. Midnight Jasmine and the things I think of you. Saxophone agreeing from somewhere down the hall. Somebody still playing at this hour. After all, the city never fully sleeps, just changes key. Midnight Jasmine drifting over you and me. Scent has a way of landing without asking. Midnight Jasmine, the finest kind of tasking of the memory with something beautiful. Midnight Jasmine in the air, everything unhurried, everything rare. At this hour when the world steps back, Midnight Jasmine on the right track. Saxophone in the city low. Midnight Jasmine, that's the finest show. Close your eyes and let it find you. Midnight Jasmine right behind you. Hours past when reasonable people sleep. Midnight Jasmine helping me to keep some kind of peace with all that came before. Midnight Jasmine, that's what nights are for. Jazz coming softly through the speaker now. Midnight Jasmine teaching me somehow that the night has its own particular grace. Midnight Jasmine filling every space. Scent has a way of landing without asking. Midnight Jasmine, the finest kind of tasking Close your eyes and let it find you. Midnight jasmine right behind you. Jasmine doesn't bloom for the daytime crowd. Midnight jasmine, quiet and proud, choosing this particular hour to release everything it has in perfect peace. Rhodes piano finding the same note. Midnight jasmine catching in my throat. The beauty of a thing that blooms at night. Midnight jasmine, doing everything right. Window open just enough to let it in. Midnight jasmine, where the nights begin. To feel like something worth the staying up. Midnight jasmine, filling every cup of the hour with its particular scent. Midnight jasmine, that's the night well spent. Midnight jasmine in the air, everything unhurried, everything rare. At this hour when the world steps back, midnight jasmine on the right track. Saxophone in the city low. Midnight jasmine, that's the finest show. Close your eyes and let it find you. Midnight jasmine right behind you. Midnight jasmine, still blooming, still here. Yeah. Glass bead catching light in ways that ordinary things don't catch the gaze. Something in the transparency revealing. Glass bead, the finest kind of feeling that comes from seeing through to what's inside. Glass bead, the most transparent guide to what the beauty of a simple thing can be. Glass bead, held up carefully. Transparency isn't emptiness. Glass bead, the finest kind of fullness, is the kind that lets the light come through. Glass bead, clear and small. Glass bead holds it all. Every color of the light it catches. Glass bead, the finest kind of matches between the simple and the beautiful. Glass bead, the most dutiful little thing that ever caught the sun. Glass bead, the finest kind of one. Roberta Vaughan agreeing with the bead. Glass bead, exactly what I need to understand that beauty isn't volume. Glass bead, the finest kind of column of light in a room that had forgotten. Glass bead, the finest kind of gotten luckiest to notice what was there. Glass bead, catching all the air. Transparency isn't emptiness. Glass bead, the finest kind of fullness, is the kind that lets the light come through. Glass bead, clear and small. Glass bead holds it all. Every color of the light it catches. Glass bead, the finest kind of matches between the simple and the beautiful. Glass bead, the most dutiful little thing that ever caught the sun. Glass bead, the finest kind of one. Hold it up to any light and watch it. Glass bead, the finest way to plot it. The course of beauty through the ordinary. Glass bead, the finest kind of legendary, is the thing that wasn't trying to be. Glass bead, held up carefully against the light, just being what it is. Glass bead, the finest kind of fist. Set it down and watch the light still on it. Glass bead, the finest kind of sonnet, is the one that doesn't need the words. Glass bead, the finest thing I've heard, is the silence of the light on something clear. Glass bead, the finest kind of here, is the place is where beautiful things rest. Glass bead, the finest, the best. Glass bead, clear and small. Glass bead holds it all, holds it all. Every color of the light it catches. Glass bead, the finest kind of matches between the simple and the beautiful. Glass bead, the most beautiful, beautiful little thing that ever caught the sun. Glass bead, the finest kind of one. Glass bead, still catching light. Always will, yeah. Yeah.
The long afternoon has its own particular weight. Not heavy, just substantial, arriving late to the conversation about what the day means. The long afternoon and all its quiet scenes. Nobody's schedule what the light is doing now. The long afternoon figuring out how to stretch itself across the hours remaining. The long afternoon, never once complaining. Long afternoons don't happen by accident. They require a certain kind of innocent disregard for what you're supposed to do. The long afternoon, let it run. Everything between the start and when it's done. The long afternoon, taking all its time, finding all the notes inside the climb. From noon to evening, that particular space. The long afternoon, the finest place to exist without agenda or design. The long afternoon, that's yours and mine. Piano understanding what I'm getting at. The long afternoon, and that is that some hours deserve more than just the rushing through. The long afternoon, the finest residue of a day that didn't ask too much of you. The long afternoon, the clearest view of what the simple act of being present means. The long afternoon and all its unhurried scenes. Long afternoons don't happen by accident. They require a certain kind of innocent disregard for what you're supposed to do. The long afternoon, let it run. Everything between the start and when it's done. The long afternoon, taking all its time, finding all the notes inside the climb. From noon to evening, that particular space. The long afternoon, the finest place to exist without agenda or design. The long afternoon, that's yours and mine. Jazz was invented for the long afternoon. Every standard played a little past noon finds its best version in the stretched out hour. The long afternoon, the finest kind of power is the power to do absolutely nothing urgent. The long afternoon, the most resurgent version of yourself that appears when given the long afternoon to simply be in. Shadows getting longer, light going gold. The long afternoon, doing what it's told by nobody, following its own direction. The long afternoon, the finest kind of section of the day to find yourself inside. The long afternoon, the finest ride to nowhere in particular and everywhere. The long afternoon, the finest kind of rare. The long afternoon, let it run. Everything between the start and when it's done. The long afternoon, taking all its time, finding all the notes inside the climb. From noon to evening, in that particular space. The long afternoon, the finest place to exist without agenda or design. The long afternoon, that's yours and mine. The long afternoon, still running, let it, yeah.
Came up here because the apartment felt small. 40 floors above it all, and the stars were doing something worth the cold. Something ancient, something quietly bold. The city spread below like its own constellation. Every light a small human declaration that someone was still awake, still in the middle of something the rooftops solve. And every riddle about why people seek the elevation. Not the view exactly, but the sensation of being above the urgency for once. The stars not caring about any of that, not once. Trumpet came from somewhere on a lower floor, through an open window, then it disappeared before the phrase was finished, which felt exactly right. The Orion I learned in childhood was still there. The same configuration in the same cold air that everyone who ever looked up found, no matter where on earth they happened to be. This ground of the sky, constant and indifferent and beautiful. Something between the dutiful returning of the stars and the accidental finding of them on a rooftop. Incidental to whatever brought me up here in the first place. An hour passed without the checking of the phone. Something I didn't know I needed, being alone with something larger than the week had offered. The stars, the city lights, the trumpet that wandered back in through the window briefly again, then gone. And the roof was quiet, and then just the sound of the city from a height that made it more of a composition than a fight. Between the noise and silence, more a balance of the human and the ancient. The talents of the city and the sky both on display in a way that only altitude could say. Found Cassiopeia after 20 minutes searching, something satisfied about the finding with the lurching through the dark of the unlit rooftop. To get here, the Orion I learned in childhood was still there. The same configuration in the same cold air that everyone who ever looked up found, no matter where on earth they happened to be. This ground of the sky, constant and indifferent and beautiful. Something in between the dutiful returning of the stars and the accidental finding of them on a rooftop. Incidental to whatever brought me up here in the first place. 2 a.m. finally going in, the stars still doing what they'd always been doing. The city still below, the trumpet silent. Now the night complete, no need to sum it up in any language that the day would understand. This was the rooftop's particular demand, that you experience it without the translation into anything other than the constellation of this specific night. This cold, this height, the city underneath this particular light. You're back down. Stars still there. They'll be there tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow. what the daytime had to offer us. Blue silk, the evening without fuss. Saxophone arriving uninvited. Everything about the night now brightly sided through the lens of something slow and fine. Blue silk running parallel to time. Silk doesn't rush and neither do I. Blue silk floating underneath the sky of whatever this particular evening means. Blue silk, that's the texture of tonight. Blue silk, everything just right. Smooth enough to feel without a word. Blue silk, finest thing I've heard in the way the saxophone describes it. Blue silk, nobody else besides it fits the hour like this particular shade. Blue silk, finest thing that's ever swayed. Poured something slow into a glass of ice. Blue silk making everything precise in its imprecision, in its easy flow. Blue silk, the finest kind of slow. Piano finding notes that silk would choose. Blue silk, the most sophisticated blues. Not sad exactly, just a shade of deep. Blue silk, the color of the things we keep. Silk doesn't rush and neither do I. Blue silk floating underneath the sky of whatever this particular evening means. Blue silk, that's the texture of tonight. Blue silk, everything just right. Smooth enough to feel without a word. Blue silk, finest thing I've heard in the way the saxophone describes it. Blue silk, nobody else besides it fits the hour like this particular shade. Blue silk, finest thing that's ever swayed. Silk gets its texture from the tension. Blue silk operating beyond mention of anything as simple as a fabric. Blue silk, the most melodic magic. Saxophone pulling it across the room. Blue silk, the finest kind of perfume. For the ears, for the evening, for the soul. Blue silk, making everything feel whole. Evening deepening into something darker. Blue silk, becoming the finest marker of the hour when the day admits it's done. Blue silk, the setting of the sun into something jazz has always known about. Blue silk, there is never any doubt that the night deserves its own particular color. Blue silk, there has never been another. Blue silk, that's the texture of tonight. Blue silk, everything just right. Smooth enough to feel without a word. Blue silk, finest thing I've heard in the way the saxophone describes it. Blue silk, nobody else besides it fits the hour like this particular shade. Blue silk, finest thing that's ever swayed. Falling still, evening running, yeah. Blue silk,
When in for one thing and left 3 hours later. Something about the alphabetical, the greater pull of what might be in the next crate over kept me there until the afternoon was over. The owner playing something through the system, something I half recognized, could almost list them. The reasons it was familiar, couldn't quite land on the record, the year, the session it was planned on. Tuesday afternoon and nobody else in the shop the whole time, just the two of us, the spin of the vinyl on the turntable, the conversation between the shelves and whoever had the patience. He said nothing for the first hour, which was correct. Something about the browsing that you shouldn't interrupt. The finding is the thing, not the being helped to find. Between the C's and the D's, something waited that I didn't know I needed. Something faded in the sense that it was there the whole time. The cover water stained, the liner notes sublime, in the way the liner notes from that era were everything explained and nothing blurred by the self-consciousness of knowing what became of the music, the musicians, the particular fame, a lack of it that followed that specific session. Held it up to the light, the vinyl clean. Someone had loved it once, it kept it pristine. Despite the cover, despite the decades since the last time it was played, the evidence of care in the preservation of the groove. The record knew something about being removed from circulation and then found again. The particular patience of the unplayed, and then the needle finding it for the first time in years. Something about the moment that appears when the music that was waiting becomes sound again. After all that silence, after all that ground, covered in the dark of the unsold crate. Played it twice before I went to pay. The owner didn't rush me, just let it play. Something about the afternoon deserving it. Between the C's and the D's, something waited that I didn't know I needed. Something faded in the sense that it was there the whole time. The cover water stained, the liner notes sublime, in the way the liner notes from that era were everything explained and nothing blurred by the self-consciousness of knowing what became of the music, the musicians, the particular fame, or lack of it that followed that specific session. The walk home was different for having it under my arm. The particular benefit of carrying something that not everyone has. Something found rather than streamed. The jazz of the physical, the weight of the decision made in the aisle between the shelves. The vision of the cover on the shelf above the turntable. At home the evening and the record, the able return of something to the world of the hurt. Home now, needle dropping, first time in decades, sounds like it was waiting. First light jazz, before the city starts. First light jazz, before the coffee carts. Before the urgency of everything demanding. First light jazz, the finest understanding of what a day could be before it's anything. First light jazz, the finest kind of offering, from the morning dew, whoever's up to receive it. First light jazz, the finest way to greet it. First light doesn't ask for your attention. First light jazz, the finest kind of mention of what's possible before the noise begins. First light jazz, that's the time. Everything fine in its own rhyme before the day has asked a single thing. First light jazz, hear the morning sing in the language of the unheard. unhurried note. First light jazz, the finest kind of antidote to everything the coming hours will bring. First light jazz, the most important thing. Trumpet saying something soft and true. First light jazz, the finest shade of new that every morning brings if you're there early. First light jazz, not too late, not early. In the wrong direction, just exactly right. First light jazz, the transition out of night into something worth the getting up for. First light jazz, that's what mornings are for. First light doesn't ask for your attention. First light jazz, the finest kind of mention of what's possible before the noise begins. First light jazz, that's the time. Everything finding its own rhyme before the day has asked a single thing. First light jazz, hear the morning sing. In the language of the unhurried note. First light jazz, the finest kind of antidote to everything the coming hours will bring. First light jazz, the most important thing. The trumpet in the morning hits completely different from the trumpet at midnight. Something different about the way the early air receives the note. First light jazz, the finest kind of quote from the day to whoever chose to listen. First light jazz, everything glistens before the ordinary had a chance to land. First light jazz, the finest kind of grand opening to whatever the day becomes. First light jazz, before the noise drums. Stayed up late enough to see it turn. First light jazz, the finest kind of urn after all the hours of the night before. First light jazz, that's what staying's for. Sometimes when the night has been worth living, first light jazz, the morning's finest giving to the one who made it through to here. First light jazz, making everything clear. First light jazz, that's the time. Everything finding its own rhyme before the day has asked a single thing. First light jazz, hear the morning sing. In the language of the unhurried note. First light jazz, the finest kind of antidote to everything the coming hours will bring. First light jazz, the most important thing. First light jazz, morning arriving right on time. Yeah.
Started at 8 with the intention of 2 hours. Ended somewhere past midnight. The powers of the conversation outrunning every plan. Something about the way it began was something small. Some question about a book, and then the pivot, the particular look across the table that meant we were going somewhere further. In the table between us, the air carrying whatever this was becoming. The piano in the corner barely humming under the room, just enough to fill the silence between the sentences, the comfortable alliance. Neither of us reached for the phone after 10. Something about the conversation, the when of it landing on something true and staying there. What began as small became the map of something neither of us had the knack for finding in the ordinary hours the conversation finding all its flowers in the dark past the time we should have left something in the late hour, bereft of the daytime self-consciousness, the brave honesty that only the late hours gave permission for the things that cost something to say. 1 o'clock in the restaurant, empty now, just the two of us. The waiter somehow still polite about the situation. The bill arrived without an indication of urgency, the finest kind of service. Something about the room no longer nervous about what it contained. Just two people in the ordinary kind of steeple of a conversation that had found its real subject by the second hour. The feel of something opening rather than closing, the late hour and the honesty composing something neither of us would have planned. 2 o'clock and finally outside, something about the cold, the particular wide sky of the street after the interior of the room. What began as small became the map of something neither of us had the knack for finding in the ordinary hours, the conversation finding all its flowers in the dark past the time we should have left something in the late hour, bereft of the daytime self-consciousness, the brave honesty that only the late hours gave permission for the things that cost something to say. Stood outside for another half hour because neither wanted the air to become the pause that ended at the cold, preferred to the warmth of the restaurant that had sent us forth into the street. The conversation finding its final shape, the kind of winding down that doesn't feel like an ending, just a postponement, the particular tending to the thing that would continue in the days ahead. Walk separate directions eventually, same sky above both of us, the conversation still going somewhere inward now. Inward now.
Nobody set an alarm this morning. The coffee's going slow, no warning of anything that needs to happen soon. Just the ink and light before the noon. Pull the paper from the door at 8. Something about the weight of it felt great. Not urgent, not demanding anything, just the world collected. Everything sitting on the table waiting for the red piano playing low. All I need is this particular unhurried hour this morning and its quiet kind of power. The headlines can wait another minute. This coffee and this chair are what I'm in. This morning has its own agenda, something softer than the world outside pretends to. Turn the page slow, let the stories land. Nothing here that needs more than you can stand. Jazz on low and ink between your fingers. This is the morning that always lingers past the hour when it's supposed to end. This kind of Sunday, the finest kind of friend. Sports section first because nobody judges. Sunday morning operates on its own budgets of attention, going where it wants to go. Crossword in the back, taking it slow. The opinion page is saved for later, when the coffee's stronger and the mind is greater for the argument for the second cup. This is the Sunday morning growing up was supposed to look alike, and it does. Nothing here that isn't what it was meant to be on a morning without obligation. Piano in the corner, my only real companion. The world outside is doing what it does. This room is something different, always was. Separate from the urgency of living. Sunday morning, the finest kind of getting. Turn the page slow, let the stories land. Nothing here that needs more than you can stand. Jazz on low and ink between your fingers. This is the morning that always lingers past the hour when it's supposed to end. This kind of Sunday, the finest kind of friend. Somewhere between the local news and the art section. A kind of peace that doesn't need perfection. Just the morning doing what it's done for years. Coffee going cold, nobody appears to need me anywhere for another hour. This is the Sunday morning, and its power is exactly in the having nothing pressing. Sunday morning, the finest kind of blessing. Noon arriving at the last few pages. Sunday morning turning into ages of the afternoon it promised from the start. Folded up and set aside with heart, full of everything the morning gave. Quietly walking to the window, seeing the city still out there, still moving through its day. Sunday paper, the finest kind of way to start the week before it starts you. Jazz still playing, nobody to ask you what you read or what you thought about it. Sunday morning, no need to doubt it. Pages folded, coffee empty, ready now, almost. He never talked about it after sets, just packed the horn and settled all his debts. With the bartender nodded at the room, walked through the side door, disappeared into the gloom of whatever the street was offering at midnight. Nobody asked because it didn't feel polite to interrupt whatever process let him do what he did up there. What everyone just knew was beyond the notes, beyond the technical. Something in the playing almost electrical. And how it found the thing you didn't know you felt until the phrase arrived and all of it just melted. Asked him once between the sets over something cold. He smiled, said nothing worth the telling. I was told later that he never answered that question. But I watched the way he breathed before the phrase, the particular stillness of those few seconds, a gaze inward that had nothing to do with performance. Something passing through the horn, some kind of torment. Or it's opposite, some resolution. Each night a different version of the same solution to the problem of saying something true in a language made of air and brass and you. Third set running and the room at the end of those who needed it most. The ones the music chose to stay, the faithful, the ones who came for this specifically. Not the atmosphere or the fizz of the Friday night, but the actual thing. What never happened when he started to swing to the second chorus of the standard. Something that the practice had engendered across the years, arriving in the room the way a storm arrives. The same perfume of something electric in the air before the phrase that nobody expected. And once more the room caught its breath collectively at once. Something in the note that didn't make sense until it made the only sense available. But I watched the way he breathed before the phrase, the particular stillness of those few seconds, a gaze inward that had nothing to do with performance, something passing through the horn, some kind of torment. Or its opposite, some resolution, each night a different version of the same solution to the problem of saying something true in a language made of air and brass and you. I saw him years later from a different city, different club, different night. The same quality of the particular breath before the phrase, the same inward look, the same few seconds gaze, and then the note arriving like it always did, like he found the same secret, like he never hid the fact that it was available to anyone who listened past the notes until the thing was done, revealing what it was, which was the breath, the living of it honest until death. Packed up again, same side door, never said a word, never needed to.
Neon and rain, the finest combination. City riding its own illumination. On the wet pavement, every color doubled. Neon and rain, everything trebled, becoming beautiful in the reflection. Neon and rain, the finest kind of action of the city into something worth the seeing. Neon and rain, that's where I'm being. Neon needs the rain to find its mirror. Rain needs the neon to become much clearer than just water on the street. Neon and rain, city at its best. Neon and rain, passing every test of what a night should look and feel like. Neon and rain, the finest kind of highlight on a Tuesday that forgot to be ordinary. Neon and rain, quite extraordinary. When you stop and let the combination land. Neon and rain, the city's finest hand. Saxophone process through the city speakers. Neon and rain for all the midnight seekers of something that the daylight doesn't offer. Neon and rain, the finest kind of buffer against the ordinary, against the known. Neon and rain, the finest seed's been sown of a night that's going somewhere unrepeatable. Neon and rain, completely undefeatable. Neon needs the rain to find its mirror. Rain needs the neon to become much clearer than just water on the street. Neon and rain, city at its best. Neon and rain, passing every test of what a night should look and feel like. Neon and rain, the finest kind of highlight on a Tuesday that forgot to be ordinary. Neon and rain, quite extraordinary. When you stop and let the combination land. Neon and rain, the city's finest hand. Jazz was always urban, always wet. Neon and rain, the finest duet the city ever played. For those who listen, neon and rain, everything that glistened in the space between the drops and lights. Neon and rain, the best of city nights. Electronic saxophone agreeing. Neon and rain, the finest way of seeing. Walking through it without any hurry. Neon and rain, no reason now to worry about the jacket or the shoes or any plan. Neon and rain, just be where you can be completely present in the wet and bright. Neon and rain, the finest kind of night that the city knows how to produce. Neon and rain, letting everything loose. Neon and rain, city at its best. Neon and rain, passing every test of what a night should look and feel like. Neon and rain, the finest kind of highlight
sat 3 tables back so I could watch them properly. The left moving independent of the right, apparently. Autonomous, 2 things agreeing on the outcome, without conferring, without needing to overcome any division between what each was doing. The right hand soloing while the left kept brewing. Something underneath that made the right make sense. This particular kind of musical intelligence isn't taught exactly, it accumulates through years of practice that the performance translates into something that looks effortless from where I sat 3 tables back, seeing all of that. The face completely still, just the hands moving through the music like they understand something the rest of the body doesn't need to know. Between the standard and the improvisation, something in the hands found its own station. Neither fully written or entirely free, just a conversation between the keys and memory. The memory of everything that brought them here tonight. The memory of every wrong note that made the right ones right. You could see it in the pauses, in the breath before the phrase. The hands carrying the years inside the maze of the music, finding their way through again for what must be the 10,000th time. And then left hand shifted, opening a different space. The right responded with a particular grace that had to have been built across years of this. The kind of precision that you can't dismiss as talent, because talent doesn't practice at dawn, doesn't play the same phrase until it's drawn perfectly from the body without thought. This is what the years of practice bought, and the watching of it felt like witnessing something beyond the music, something glistening with all the unseen hours in a single phrase. The long work of 1,000 unremarked days, set ending now, but the hand's still in it. Every bar giving everything, every minute of the last number as full as the first. Between the standard, the improvisation, something in the hands found its own station. Neither fully written or entirely free, just a conversation between the keys and memory. The memory of everything that brought them here tonight. The memory of every wrong note that made the right ones right. You could see it in the pauses, in the breath before the phrase. The hands carrying the years inside the maze of the music, finding their way through again for what must be the 10,000th time. And then the final chord held until the room forgot to breathe. The hand still on the keys, not ready to leave the note, not ready to release the moment. Something in the sustain, the most important part of the whole evening. The held note, the hands just resting there, the finest antidote to rushing toward whatever comes next. Just the hands and the note, and the room perplexed into silence before the applause arrived. Walked out before the second set, didn't want anything to follow that. Just the memory of the hands still moving. Still moving.
Honey notes dripping from the saxophone. Honey notes, the finest way to come home to yourself after a day of being other. Honey notes, the finest kind of cover for whatever the day left exposed. Honey notes, nothing ever closed off to beauty when the honey's flowing. Honey notes, the finest kind of knowing. doesn't rush and neither do the notes. Honey notes, the finest kind of coats. The music wraps around the evening. Honey notes, sweet and slow. Honey notes, that's the only way to go when the evening needs its finest version. Honey notes, no need for coercion to anything resembling fast. Honey notes, the kind that always last past the moment into memory. Honey notes, that's what music means to me. Rose piano dripping too in its own way. Honey notes, the finest end of day. Treatment for whatever ached at noon. Honey notes, arriving just in tune with what the body needed most tonight. Honey notes, doing everything right without the effort, without the trying. Honey notes, the finest kind of flying. Honey doesn't rush and neither do the notes. Honey notes, the finest kind of coats. The music wraps around the evening. Honey notes, sweet and slow. Honey notes, that's the only way to go when the evening needs its finest version. Honey notes, no need for coercion to anything resembling fast. Honey notes, the kind that always last past the moment into memory. Honey notes, that's what music means to me. The sweetest things take time to find their form. Honey notes, the finest kind of warm is the warmth that builds inside the note. Honey notes, the most melodic antidote to everything that wasn't sweet today. Honey notes, the most beautiful way to end the thing that started sharp and rushed. Honey notes, everything unhushed. Saxophone still dripping by the hours and honey notes around each careful bend of the melody. The sweetness still arriving. Honey notes, the finest kind of thriving, is the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. Honey notes, still sitting on the shelf of everything the evening has to offer. Honey notes, the finest kind of proffer. Honey notes, sweet and slow. Honey notes, that's the only way to go when the evening needs its finest version. Honey notes, no need for coercion into anything resembling fast. Honey notes, the kind that always lasts past the moment into memory. Honey notes, that's what music means to me. Honey notes, still dripping, sweet and slow.
Nobody came to see him specifically. The name on the poster was the saxophonist, but he arrived early, rose in the bowl, checked the tune and let the low notes go into the empty room before the doors opened. While the room was still available, still focused on nothing but the bass and the silence after, building the foundation before the rafters of the melody arrived to live inside it. The low impatient, nobody denied it was essential, but few actually listened. The nights he played, the whole arrangement glistened. Two sets watched from the bar stool directly facing, something in the walking line still chasing the question of how the whole thing held together. Watching from the bar, you hear it differently. When the saxophone takes 5, suddenly the room contracts to what's still there. Just the bass and the drums and the air, and it's enough, more than enough, it's everything. The foundation doing what the soloing was built on top of, walking its steady line. The thing beneath the thing, doing time for the glamour of the note above. Third number, and the piano going sparse, leaving more room for the middle of the farce of jazz hierarchy to collapse a little. The bass stepping into the middle, not a solo exactly, more as conversation with the drums, a kind of negotiation about where the next bar was supposed to land. Something worked out between two old hands that didn't need the melody to make the point. The bass and drums alone could find a joint where the music lived without the ornament. This is what the years of basement practice meant. Break between sets and he ordered water. Something about the economy, the shorter list of needs, just the instrument and the room. Watching from the bar you hear it differently. When the saxophone takes 5 suddenly, the room contracts to what's still there. Just the bass and the drums in the air, and it's enough, more than enough, it's everything. The foundation doing what the soloing was built on top of, walking its steady line. The thing beneath the thing, doing time for the glamour of the note above. After the last set, packing the case alone, while the saxophonist signed something, the phone already out and pointed at him for the photograph. The bassist smiled at something on his behalf, undocumented, folded the bow cloth carefully, put the rosin in the case. The room now fairly empty of everything except the two of them, the foundation and the thing built on the stem of his particular walking, his particular ground, leaving separately into the sound of the street. The foundation first, as always. Low note still ringing, room almost empty. He was already gone. He was already gone.
Every shade of gold that afternoon finds, when it's decided it should go out beautifully. Amber hour, doing it dutifully. Rhodes piano catching all the warmth. Amber hour heading slightly north of what an ordinary evening could produce. Amber hour, the finest kind of truce between the day and what the night will bring. Amber hour, hear the city sing in a lower register, a warmer key. Amber hour, just for you and me. Amber isn't just a color, it's a feeling. Amber hour, the finest kind of healing that the day bestows before it's done. Amber hour, golden and slow. Amber hour, the finest kind of glow. Everything that light can do, it's doing now. Amber hour, showing everyone how a day ends when it really means it. Amber hour, everyone who's seen it knows that nothing could have been more right. Amber hour, into evening light. Rhodes piano warm as the color outside. Amber hour, nowhere left to hide from the beauty of this particular minute. Amber hour, everything within it speaking in the language of the golden. Amber hour, finest things are old and gold, not new, not bright, but deep and real. Amber hour, that's the finest feel. Amber isn't just a color, it's a feeling. Amber hour, the finest kind of healing that the day bestows before it's done. Amber hour, golden and slow. Amber hour, the finest kind of glow. Everything the light can do, it's doing now. Amber hour, showing everyone how a day ends when it really fast and that's the point. Amber hour, the finest kind of joint venture between the light and the departing. Amber hour, the finest kind of starting of the evening with a golden memory. Amber hour, setting everything free into the night with warmth enough to carry. Amber hour, never ordinary. Last light catching everything it touches. Amber hour, the finest kind of clutches at the beauty of the ending of a day. Amber hour, the most beautiful way to leave, to fade, to transition into dark. Amber hour, leaving the finest mark of gold on everything before it's gone. Amber hour, the finest kind of song. Amber hour, golden and slow. Amber hour, the finest kind of glow. Everything that light can do, it's doing now. Amber hour, showing everyone how a day ends when it really means it. Amber hour, everyone who's seen it knows that nothing could have been more right. Amber hour, into evening light. Amber hour, fading now, golden still. Started at 6 with a blank page and a feeling, something in the morning air worth revealing. If only the fingers could find the right beginning. Piano in the background quietly winning, the argument for rhythm in the making. Every sentence a decision worth the taking seriously, even the ones that don't survive the edit, even those who are part of being alive. To the process, which is where the work lives, not in the finished thing but in what gives the writer the momentum to continue. Something between the music and the sinew. The jazz knows something about the blank page. It improvises to the same kind of rage against the silence into something worth the hearing. Keys going down and coming back up, every word a different kind of cup, filled with the morning and the music running through the sentence. Neither of them gunning for completion, both just finding their way through the material of the particular day. Piano and the page agreeing on the rhythm of the thing we're seeing through to the end, which might be noon, might be never. Typewriter jazz going on forever. Third paragraph and something finally clicked, the kind of click that can't be forced or picked from the list of things to try when nothing's working. It just arrived between the notes, no shirking. From the moment, just accepting what it brought, the sentence that the morning finally caught. After the two false starts and the deletion, piano playing through it without completion. Just the ongoing, the continuous now of the making, which nobody teaches you how to love until you're deep enough inside it, that the blank page stops being something to be frightened. 6 pages in the coffee, long forgotten, something in the rhythm finally gotten right, or at least right enough to keep going. Keeps going down and coming back up, every word a different kind of cup, filled with the morning and the music running through the sentence. Neither of them gunning for completion, both just finding their way through the material of the particular day. Piano and the page agreeing on the rhythm of the thing worth seeing through to the end, which might be noon, might be never. Typewriter jazz going on forever. Noon arrived and the page had 12 new things on it, none of them perfect but all of them honest. The jazz still playing to an empty room. The writer and the music, the finest kind of bloom, is the one that happens in the unseen morning before the world wakes up with all its warning that the day has obligations and requirements. Typewriter jazz has its own requirements, and they are simply this: show up and listen to the rhythm underneath the thing that's glistening, half formed in the mind, and trust the process. Typewriter jazz is just the finest promise to the work that you'll be there until it's done. Page say, piano still going, same time tomorrow.
Slow hands on the piano keys tonight. Slow hands finding what feels right. Not a performance, not a show. Slow hands, the finest kind of slow. Every note placed with consideration. Slow hands, the finest kind of patience, applied to something worth a careful touch. Slow hands, not too little, not too much. Speed was never the point of anything important. Slow hands operating with endorsement from every note that ever mattered most. Slow hands take the time. Every note deserves the climb into whatever it was meant to be. Slow hands setting everything free. That speed was keeping captive in the rush. Slow hands, the finest kind of hush, between the notes, between the breath. Slow hands, finest thing that's left. Upright bass walking slow beneath the piano. Slow hands, everything a shade of piano and shadow, light in what it touches gently. Slow hands, more than sufficiently, expressing what the hurried never reaches. Slow hands, the finest kind of teachers, from the music to whoever's listening right. Slow hands, the finest kind of night. Speed was never the point of anything important. Slow hands operating with endorsement from every note that ever mattered most. Slow hands take the time. Every note deserves the climb into whatever it was meant to be. Slow hands setting everything free. That speed was keeping captive in the rush. Slow hands, the finest kind of hush, between the notes, between the breath. Slow hands, finest thing that's left. The slow note lands heavier than the fast one. Slow hands, the last one you'd expect to move you moves the most. Slow hands, the finest kind of host of everything the evening needed saying. Slow hands on the keys, still playing something that the rush could never find. Slow hands, the finest state of mind. Hours in and still the tempo hasn't changed. Slow hands, nothing rearranged from the pace that the evening chose at the start. Slow hands, moving from the heart, not the technique, not the training. Slow hands, never once complaining about the tempo, never asking more. Slow hands, that's what music's for. Slow hands, take the time. Every note deserves the climb into whatever it was meant to be. Slow hands, setting everything free. That speed was keeping captive in the rush. Slow hands, the finest kind of hush, between the notes, between the breath. Slow hands, finest thing that's left. Slow hands, still playing, no rush, yeah.
table with the best angle, the kind of seat that lets you see the tangle of the street without the street seeing you back. Something about the one-way quality of that, the glass between you and the weather, the coffee and the book and the all-together comfortable distance from the participation in the drama happening outside the station of the observer, which is not the same as the detached. There's still the game of the wonder in the story, making the projection of the lives passing in the rainy section. The couple at the corner arguing about something, the body language giving everything to nothing of the words available through glass. 3 hours at the same table, watching the street performance unrehearsed, the catching of the light at different angles through the rain. Each hour different, each hour the same. Basic material rearranged by time, the coffee changing the street keeping rhyme with itself. The infinite variation of the same pedestrian situation, somehow not repeating, somehow new. Someone dropped something outside the brief collection of the strangers, the relief of the person who dropped it when it wasn't broken. Something about the small community, the spoken moment between people who were strangers seconds before and would be strangers seconds after. Just the duration of the dropped object and its constellation of concern, and then the dispersal, the return to separate trajectories, the stern independence of the city resuming after the small interruption, the assuming of the previous distances, the glass between me and all of it, the pass of 3 hours like a film I chose to see. 4 o'clock and the light changing outside, the rain stopping, something in the stride of the street shifting with the weather. 3 hours at the same table, watching the street performance unrehearsed, the catching of the light at different angles through the rain. Each hour different, each hour the same. Basic material rearranged by time, the coffee changing the street keeping rhyme with itself. The infinite variation of the same pedestrian situation, somehow not repeating, somehow new. Eventually the table was needed and I left, not reluctantly. There was no bereft quality to the leaving, just the natural end of something, the actual outside arriving when the glass was gone. The street no longer framed the moving on into the participation that the watching had been a kind of preparation for the catching of my own reflection in the window as I passed. Same street now, from the other side of the glass, different experience, same afternoon.
Three-quarter time, the world starts swaying. Three-quarter time, the piano playing. Something in the waltz that the 4/4 never gives. Three-quarter time, that's how the music lives. When it wants to move you differently, three-quarter time, the finest symphony of rhythm and of romance and of space. Three-quarter time, the most elegant pace. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Three-quarter time is asking you to be present in a different way tonight. Three-quarter time, let yourself sway. Three-quarter time, that's the finest way to move through music that was made for motion. 3/4 time, the most devoted version of the rhythm to the dancer. 3/4 time, the finest answer to the question of what music's for. 3/4 time, 1, 2, 3, once more. Piano leading in the waltz's language. 3/4 time, the finest kind of anguish is the beauty that you feel when something moves you. 3/4 time, the finest kind of news about what the body already knows. 3/4 time, that's where the music goes when it wants to be completely honest. 3/4 time, the finest kind of promise. 1/3/4 time, the finest kind of promise. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3/4 time is asking you to be present in a different way tonight. 3/4 time, let yourself sway. 3/4 time, that's the finest way to move through music that was made for motion. 3/4 time, the most devoted version of the rhythm to the dancer. 3/4 time, the finest answer to the question of what music's for. 3/4 time, 1, 2, 3, once more. The waltz was always jazz before jazz knew it. 3/4 time, the finest way to view it is as the ancestor of everything that swings. 3/4 time, and all the beauty brings when you stop counting and just let it carry. 3/4 time, the finest way to tarry in the moment of the note and the between. 3/4 time, the finest thing I've seen, still swaying at the end of 3/4 time. 3/4 time, the most complete design for an evening that deserved to move. 3/4 time, the finest kind of groove is the one that makes you feel it in the spine. 3/4 time, the most elegant line through whatever the evening has to offer. 3/4 time, the finest kind of proffer. 3/4 time, let yourself sway. 3/4 time, that's the finest way to move through music that was made for motion. 3/4 time, the most devoted version of the rhythm to the dancer. 3/4 time, the finest answer to the question of what music's for. 3/4 time, 1, 2, 3, once more. 3/4 time, 1, 2, 3, still swaying. Yeah.
The garden at 6 has its own particular hour before the dark arrives to claim its power over everything the afternoon had lit. The lemon tree still yellow in the middle of it. Drag the chair outside with something cold. The bossa coming through the window, old recording, someone playing something true. In a garden somewhere warmer than I knew. Before tonight, before this particular evening, where the scent and the music were achieving something about belonging. The fruit just hanging there without pretension. The music from inside, a kind of extension of the garden into something more. Nylon strings agreeing with the branches. Everything this evening takes its chances on being more than the sum of what it is. The scent and the light and the music, all of this. Ordinary in its components separately, but combined into something I can barely describe without reaching for comparisons that don't quite fit these small, warm versions of what the larger, beautiful would choose. Second glass and the boss are getting later. Into the evening, the light getting greater in its gold before it finally agreed to leave. The garden to the dark began to breathe. Its cooler breath across the lemon tree. The fruit still visible, the music free, still coming through. Someone changing the record inside. The new song finding the evening beckoned into the garden by the open window. Nylon string guitar arriving, letting go of wherever it had been before this moment. Into the garden air, the finest component. Stars appearing through the lemon branches now. The evening doing what the evenings know how to do, and given a garden and some music. Nylon strings agreeing with the branches. Everything this evening takes its chances on being more than the sum of what it is. The scent and the light and the music, all of this. Ordinary in its components separately, but combined into something I can barely describe without reaching for comparisons that don't quite fit these small, warm versions of what the larger, beautiful would choose. Could have been inside with the air conditioning. Could have missed all this, the evening beginning. Its particular negotiation with the dark, the lemon tree, the music, the small spark of something I'll describe to someone later as a good evening, which is the translator for whatever actually happened in the garden. Something that the heart finds hard to pardon itself for almost missing, almost staying in. Stayed until the record finished, then stayed a little longer. Lemon tree still there in the dark, barely visible.
The space between notes is where the music lives. The space between notes is what the silence gives to everything that comes before and after. The space between notes, the finest kind of chapter. Nobody teaches you to listen to the rest. The space between notes, the ultimate test of whether you can hear what isn't there. The space between notes, the finest kind of rare. The note without the silence has no weight. The space between notes arriving right on late, but perfectly on time for everything. The space between notes, that's where I am. The space space between notes, the finest telegram sent from the music to whoever's listening. The space between notes, everything glistening in the absence of the sound, the presence of the feel. The space between notes, the most real thing the music ever had to say. The space between notes, the finest way. Piano player knows to leave the room. The space between notes, the finest kind of bloom that happens in the silence after something. The space between notes, the finest kind of something that is nothing until it's everything. The space between notes, the finest thing about the jazz is what it chooses not to play. The space between notes, the most elegant way. The note without the silence has no weight. The space between notes arriving right on late, but perfectly on time for everything. The space between notes, that's where I am. The space between notes, the finest telegram sent from the music to whoever's listening. Space between notes, everything glistening in the absence of the sound, the presence of the feel. The space between notes, the most real thing the music ever had to say. The space between notes, the finest way. Miles Davis knew about the space between notes, the finest kind of grace is knowing when to stop and let it breathe. The space between notes, the finest kind of leave of absence from the sound that makes the sound. The space between notes, the finest thing found in the music when you listen past the notes. The space between notes, the finest antidote. Upright bass holding down the space alone. The space between notes, the finest kind of home for everything the piano left unsaid. The space between notes, the finest kind of thread running through the music that you feel not hear. The space between notes becoming crystal clear when you stop listening to what's there. The space between notes, the finest kind of air. The space between notes, that's where I am. The space between notes, the finest telegram sent from the music to whoever's listening. The space between notes, everything glistening in the absence of the sound, the presence of the feel. The space between notes, the most real thing the music ever had to say. The space between notes, the finest way. The space between notes, right here, listening. Yeah.
He sat up in the corner without ceremony. Just the hardware, the skins, the testimony of 1,000 nights behind the kit. The particular efficiency of someone who's done it. Enough times that the setup is unconscious, something almost meditative, the conscious mind elsewhere while the hands do what they know, testing the hi-hat tension, checking the flow of the kick pedal, tapping the snare, finding the seat height with the particular care of someone who spends this many hours here, the tuning of the skins by the pitch of the ear. 5 minutes before the set and he just sat, sticks across the snare like that, waiting, which is its own kind of practice. When the count came in, he was already there, already in the thing before the air had carried the sound across the room. He found the pocket, the particular womb of the time signature, and lived inside it completely the way that you can't hide it. When someone has found the fundamental thing, the heartbeat that makes the rest of it sing. More possible, the low persistent truth. The low persistent truth. Second set in the room was moving with him, not because he was loud, not on a whim of showmanship, but because the body knows when the rhythm is right, the whole room goes toward it without deciding to. Something the drummer and the crowd both knew was happening. The physical response to the fundamental frequency just once. Remove it and the whole thing stops being music. The room would feel it, wouldn't know to use it. Had for the sound until the sound was gone. The drummer playing through it all night long, like breathing, like the thing that keeps you going. Sort of at the bridge and the room went quiet. Something about the pure rhythm, the riot of silence where the melody had been. When the count came in, he was already there, already in the thing before the air had carried the sound across the room. He found the pocket, the particular womb of the time signature, and lived inside it completely the way that you can't hide it. When someone has found the fundamental thing, the heartbeat that makes the rest of it sing. All possible, the low persistent truth. After the last number, the room applauding, something in the drummer's face rewarding the watch. Not pride exactly, more a kind of satisfaction, the particular find of having been exactly where you needed to be all night, having fully heeded the demands of the music, the particular request to serve the time above all else. The best night of playing, being the one nobody singled out, but everyone felt the one that mingled into the whole without distinguishing itself. Packing up the hardware now. Last one finished as always. Room already half empty. The rhythm's still going somewhere. The checkout time was written on the card. 11 a.m., not particularly hard to meet on any other morning, but today something about the light decided to stay in the room longer than it had any right to. The sheets still warm and the view still inviting, through the window at a city that wasn't asking for me, just existing beautifully and free. Called the front desk at 10:45. Something in my voice still half asleep, alive to the possibility of 2 more hours before surrendering the room and all its quiet powers. They said yes without a hesitation. Something about the gift of extra time, a kind of station between the night that was and what comes after. Roads, PM, something unhurried. Everything the morning had was not yet buried under the obligation of the checkout line. 1 more hour and everything was fine. Not fixed, not solved, just postponed correctly. The kind of morning that arrives indirectly when you give yourself the grace of asking for a little more of what the night was basking in. Order came at 11 11:15, the finest eggs the city had produced, it seemed. Or maybe everything tastes better when you're not rushing toward the door, when time still got enough of itself to let you taste things properly. The room still holding you a little temporarily, as if it knew what you were about to leave. Still one more hour in its sleeve. Packed the bag but left it by the door. Sat back on the bed for 10 minutes more. The city hadn't changed, but I had slightly. Rose playing something in a hurry. Everything the morning had was not yet buried under the obligation of the checkout line. One more hour and everything was fine. Not solved, just postponed correctly. The kind of morning that arrives indirectly when you give yourself the grace of asking for a little more of what the night was basking in. Check out at 1, which nobody does. The lobby looking at you like you were someone who had figured something out. That the 11 a.m. crowd still had doubts about the bag not heavy, the mind not cluttered. Something the extra hours quietly uttered into whatever comes next. A kind of readiness born entirely from the willingness to stay a little past the scheduled end. Key card on the desk, bag at the door. One last look, worth every minute.
After the last set of the last night of the club, after the rain on the pavement, the particular rub of the city against whatever you brought into it, after the coffee and the paper and the lit window of the cafe and the watcher inside, after the glass bead catching the light, the wide morning mist over the water, the lemon tree. After all of it, the music is still free. Running somewhere in a room you haven't found yet, in a city you haven't visited, the duet of a double bass and the drum of the walking line beneath a melody that someone is finding for the first time. The way you always find the jazz that matters, unexpectedly designed by nothing except the accident of being in the right room at the right hour, seeing every ending in this music is a hinge, something that connects what was to what will be. Jazz doesn't close, it opens at the fringe somewhere right now. A saxophonist is breathing before the phrase, the room already receiving whatever's coming. The faithful few already leaning forward, already into the thing that's about to happen. The note about to arrive in the throat of the instrument. The room about to change again, the bloom of the particular moment, unrepeatable. There's a bassist in a room somewhere who arrived early, checked the tune in the care of the preparation, invisible to everyone who comes later. The foundation already done before the audience arrives to stand on it. A pianist warming up, the benefit of the scales running through the empty club. The drummer testing tension, the particular rub of the stick on the snare before the doors. And 30 songs later, 30 different floors of the same building, the same essential thing. The music finding every room, the ring of the note and the particular air of the particular city, and the rare meeting of the music and the moment and the listener, which is the real component. The album ends the same perfume of the thing that never actually concludes. Somewhere right now a saxophonist is breathing before the phrase, the room already receiving whatever's coming. The faithful few already leaning forward, already into the thing that's about to happen. The note about to arrive in the throat of the instrument. The room about to change again. The bloom of the particular moment, unrepeatable. All 30 rooms we visited tonight, the rain and the mist and the amber light, the pianist hands and the bassist walk, the drummer's pocket and the late night talk, and the glass bead and the record found, and the cafe window and the particular sound of the last set running into the faithful few. All of it still going somewhere, all of it true to whatever the music is trying to say, which is this: there is always another way into the room. There is always another night. There is always another note. Always the right moment about to arrive somewhere for someone. The album closes, but in another city right now, a door is opening. Someone is sitting down. The count comes in, and it begins again. It always begins again. It always begins again.